Welcome to the neighborhood. You got your boy Lay Kim in the building, and I got my brother KB in the building with me. We on episode 58, and we decided to call this one Emotional Roller Coaster, right? So before we jump into the episode, remember KB and I, we're going to be sharing with you every week our W's and our L's, right? Wins and lessons. So KB, start us off. Are you sharing another L, or do you got a W for this week?
Bro, you know me, bro. You know me. I got a few W's.
Oh,
I only gotta share one though. I only gotta share one. Nah, shout out to my client. He had an issue with getting approved, and he was getting denied by every bank. We tried to give him a debt relief loan, but it wasn't working out. So we had to help him with the refinancing. We were able to get him a private lender loan, and now he's an 800 credit scores.
wow.
So he getting approved left and right. So first week of funding, we did 65K, and he's excited. I'm excited, and we didn't even start the full play yet.
Dang, so you just really built a Raven fan.
Yeah, and it was good because he came from one spectrum of getting denied from everything to, yo, I got approved for 25,000, 25,000, 15,000. So it was dope because his testimonial is gonna be lit. And he gonna refer me to people already. So he excited. I'm excited. And I'm like, yo, I had to come back to the podcast with a W. So
Hell yeah, bro. Nah, and I think that's exactly what we want to keep highlighting and showing our audience. So for me, I got a W as well, bro. Like,
okay.
good. So my W for this week is my free branding offer that I've been, promoting and helping people like building, their value ladder. It's really been converting. One of the biggest things that I was struggling with was getting, if you listen to the episode, maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago when we started the segment, one of the things I was struggling with was getting leads through the door, right? So what I went back to the drawing board, I revamped everything, and I made my free offer very attractive. And now that my free offer is so attractive, it's consistently bringing more people through the door. And this week, I took a client from a free client and I converted them into a paying client. Well, 2 clients. So that's the beauty in the value ladder. That joint had me feeling real good, bro.
Nah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Keep winning, bro.
That's it. That's it. So and hopefully our audience, as they continue to track and see our growth, we're going to try to finish the year with more W's and L's. That's always the name of the game. So KB, if you could let the audience know why we decided to choose this topic. So we decided to name the episode Emotional Roller Coaster, right? And if you could let us know why you think why did we choose this topic?
Because we both believe that emotions play a big role in part of business. And it's usually the part that's actually separated or segregated where, don't mix personal and business. However, your personal will affect your business productivity. So we just want to give people a clear framework to identify where they're at in their journey. And we know change is an inevitable part of business. So it's an emotional roller coaster. But one thing about that roller coaster, you thrive, you feel sad, you cry, you happy, and you end up getting back on again, which is crazy. But that's why we play this game.
Yeah, bro. And I feel like that's where most entrepreneurs they question themselves. They question themselves when the roller coaster starts to get too crazy. Then they like, yeah, I'm not going on that, roller coaster ever again. But it's like, nah, we all go on that roller coaster every time we decide to make a change. So what I want to share with the audience is I want to elaborate on what KB just said, right? So there's this book that I read, and the book really broke this down into 5 phases, right? 5 stages of change. And what it said is whenever we decide to make a change in our lives, we experience an emotional roller coaster, and we go through 5 different phases, right? So I'm going to walk you through each one of the 5 phases. And then KB and we're going to be sharing our experience on how we felt at each stage, right? So stage one is called uninformed optimism. Stage two is called informed pessimism. Stage three is called the valley of despair. Stage four is called informed optimism. And stage five, this is the most exciting stage, right? And this stage is called success and fulfillment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each stage. I'll explain what the subtitle of that stage means. And then KB and I, we're going to share some experiences on how we felt when in our business when we were in that stage. So then that way our audience could dissect and they could pinpoint what stage they currently are in their business or just in life, to be honest. So, all right, stage one is called uninformed optimism, right? And with this stage, we imagine the benefits and have not yet experienced any of the cost, right? So I'll say that again. When you're in stage one, you imagine all of the benefits of what this change is going to bring to your life, but you have not yet experienced any of the cost. So KB, if you could tell me how you felt or what experience do you have when you made that transition from going from being KB the trainer, full-time personal trainer for 9-10 years, and you decided to change into credit and financial literacy. How did this stage apply to you?
I thought it was gonna be up. Yeah, I was excited because it's something new, and I know I like challenges as well. However, you just think about all the possibilities. I think about all the people that I help and how I help them with fitness. I can help the same people in the financial literacy space, and the margins is totally different. So I'm just thinking about, I know this person, I know that person. They reached out to me. I have my own community. I could tap in with them, and it's dope because you want to feel good about something new. You don't want to feel sad or happy. You want to be excited about it. You want to be inspired. And I was already sending people to my boy Glad, referrals already. So I'm just thinking about the money I could have made off those people that I sent. And people trust my word without me fully being in the space, but they just value what I do. So I'm like, as I learn, I want to learn as much as possible and try to map out. I always map out, do a projection on what I want to make.
Yeah.
As a lot of people should. I don't know why they don't. If you're not an entrepreneur, you got your job, you be like, yo, I need to know how much I'm going to make. That's how I used to do it. If I know I'm working a certain amount of hours, I'm timesing that by 40 or 35, whatever they give me.
And then factor in overtime, if I could do overtime, all that. Yeah.
So, yeah, you go off the projections, you look at the possibility, and you're excited, you're ready to work. And
you probably thought it was going to be easy too, right? Like, didn't you? Like in stage one, the transition seems easy.
Yeah, and for me on a practice school, it was easier to get funded because my business was already situated.
Mm-hmm.
So being I had my LLC over 2 years, I had it since, at the time it was 8 years. My credit was already good, no derogatory marks, utilization was low. I had more than enough accounts. I'm like, I got myself 250,000 in 45 days.
Wow.
So if I got a client, that could be 25,000, 20,000. All right, this is lit. Like, this is up. Boy, oh boy, I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you ain't make it all the way through these different stages. So stage one, when we all are at stage one, we feel like, yo, it's gonna be cruise control. Like it's gonna be effortless,
What about you when you made your transition
Yes.
from sales to now business coaching?
Yeah. So when I went from doing in-person sales to business coaching and being more virtual and online, same, man. I thought it was gonna be like a cakewalk. I was like, yo, bro, I no longer have to leave my house. I could wake up and go to my office in the crib at the comfort of my home. I no longer have to think about employees giving me excuses every day. It was just like, it just seemed like a win after a win after a win. I thought everything was going to go exactly how I envisioned it. I was like, yo, I could make just as much money, working from home. And even the crazy thing that I told myself was, even if I make a little bit less working from home, my expenses have been cut like by like 80%.
Damn.
So even if I make less, I still make more because I have zero expenses, coaching people online, or minimal expenses.
Yeah, that does sound like a setup life. It's
Right. So
awesome.
when I was in that uninformed optimism, bro, it just seemed like everything was great, and everything was gonna be great with no real roadblocks, right? But that's again what leads us to stage two, KB, and that's informed pessimism. Right. So what's informed pessimism? This is when us business owners, entrepreneurs, or just any individual, when you make it to this stage, you have a shift of negative emotional state, right? This is where you start to question if the change is really worth the effort, and you begin to look for a reason to abandon the effort, right? So let's talk about that, KB. So informed pessimism, when you made it to this stage in your transition from training to funding, how did that take you on an emotional roller coaster?
Bro, it was so much at once. Like, to start it off, I retired. I decided to retire in December, right? I'm a Sag, you know how we move. December 5th is my birthday. I turned 30. So I
Yeah.
turned 30. I plan to retire end of the month. December 29th was my last day. New year, you write down your goals, get excited about 2023 at the time. And I was trying to get my car because my lease was up. So I had 3 series. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get my dream car. Only because I had not just funding and calculated, but real estate deals calculated as well.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. I'm retiring, going out with a bang, and I'm getting my dream car. And I'm about to just go crazy with funding because I have the time. That was how excited about. I had the time to actually process more apps, do more calls, do more marketing, more content. I got my dream car January 5th. And next thing you know, it just turmoil. Not even with the car, not even with funding, but real estate deals didn't really, things were happening. I had to get more repairs. Things are supposed to be done. I was supposed to sell a house in January. So that's why I'm like, yo, I'm not really worried about it. This is a fix and fit play. That's what I was doing with real estate. And I was fixing, things got broken, and there was no flipping. So all these different emotions, like, all right, you know what? It's the first month, but I want to enjoy my car. Like, I actually want to enjoy it. And it was hard for me to enjoy it because I felt like I didn't really earn it.
Yeah.
And, I made a business decision to get it. And I was able to get it at a discounted price. And it's an exclusive car. It's only two in the country. But that's besides the point. But it's just that I didn't feel like, yo, I could buy this car 3 or 4 times. So I don't have to worry about this payment. And granted, this is my dream car. This is a payment that can be somebody's, rent. So
Mortgage or mortgage.
or mortgage, depending on what state you in.
Yeah.
I'm really like, yeah, I know what I'm projected to do because I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And nothing was really panning out. So I'm like, yo, did I make a bad move? I have, things to cover, but at the same time, I don't have the leads already in. I don't have something in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And that was the hard part for me because people's like, yo, you retired at 30, training for 10 years. I want to do what you want to do. I can't believe you just switched. Like, they congratulate me on something that I don't even feel worthy of.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was tough. It was tough. And that stretch lasted like 6-7 months. So yeah, and now it don't sound as bad because I made it through. But yeah, that stretch was hard because I'm like, y'all. And then I got clients begging me, yo, KB just train. I won't tell nobody. I'll pay you double.
But there was whispering in the
Yeah,
background.
like we do it like we selling drugs on the side. Like, yo, I'll pay you double. You train me right now. We could go anywhere. Or, I could train at any gym I rent. Or you come to my apartment building. gym and train. So and it was like, yo, I wanted to bring in income, but this is not how I want to bring in income no more. I said I'm retired. Like I can't do the Jay-Z that fast. Like,
Wait. You was turning down the bread?
yeah, I had to.
Jeez.
Because it was my focus. It's like I could offer virtual training, but I'm not offering in person because I'm gonna just fall right back into the trap. And it's like
Mhm.
I'm trying to get out the drug game, and you just keep calling me like, like I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
And what I want, what I was doing wasn't doing anything. So my mom just like, yo, and a lot of people are like, you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And I was just tested so much mentally, and my spirit was hurt, you know. And I was praying at the time because I'm a spiritual person. I pray regardless, but I'm like, yo, God, if this is the way, you got to bring in the clients, you got to bring in the leads. And as I'm going through it, I'm just really dissecting on who I want to be, and I had to really like hone in on the person I want to be now, as far as the new growth and the new involvement. And it was just like, the caterpillar turned to the butterfly story. It's like I really had to go through certain forms in order to get to this level where I'm at now. But yeah, about 6 months, I was just, it got worse the turmoil. But the first 2-3 months, like, all right, it's not gonna be bad. You have a slow month. You don't make what you normally make. All right, second month is like, all right, hold on, what's going on? Like, I
Wait, so
got,
if you was thinking like that in month 2, how did you make it to month 6? That's what I want to know.
and that's the point where it's like I kind of just phased out of it's like, yo, what's the worst that could happen? I'm at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I could go is but up. And because when you in the credit space, once you go over 30% or 20%, your score changes. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm over it. What now? But I learned so much of myself of because we have certain numbers that we have. We have a broke number, for our savings. You have a credit score number. You don't want them to go in there, and you're supposed to have that. But when you're making dramatic change, expect dramatic change in all areas.
Yeah.
And I think that was the hardest part for me to understand is like, because I want to have everything controlled. Like, yo, this is the lever, this is what it's going to be. This is what's going to stay. All right, it might go a little bit high, but we're not going below this. I hit the fucking floor.
You went like to the bottom of the ocean, bro. Dang.
But it made me way more appreciative. Like I cared about the calls, like somebody getting on the call with me. I care about somebody saying, yo, I might have somebody for you. I really started to appreciate the small things, not just the end result. And I became fall in love with more of the process towards the middle. That was the only thing that was keeping me through.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? And I remember you saying like when you were in that phase, and maybe that's going to be more phase 3. So I'll hold that thought until we talk about phase 3, this the valley of despair. But I'll share my experience as well, right? So when I was in phase 2, informed pessimism, again, it's a shift to a negative emotional state, right? So when I made it to phase 2, I was running my Amazon drop shipping business, um, having a killing, and I was closing a bunch of new clients because people were seeing the traction and the motion that I was having. So people were reaching out to me left and right. And then things started to shift. My Amazon store got shut down. The clients that I had closed, I was closing people off of TikTok, off of Facebook, and I was coaching these clients. And I started to realize I don't like them, right? And that's what I was trying to avoid, KB. Like I was trying to avoid working with people that I don't like, because when I was running my sales company, I had a handful of employees that I just didn't like, but I needed them to work for me because they made me money, right? And
Allegedly.
then and like the thing that made it tough was then I somehow found myself in that same circle with coaching. And I'm like, yo, like Kim, you're supposed to nitpick the people that you coach. And now you're coaching people that you don't like. Your Amazon business that was generating, 10 plus thousand a month just got shut down. And now I'm starting to question, like, yo, is this a good decision? So I started like second guessing myself. And start looking at all of the problems that were starting to build up. And as I realized, no matter what industry you're in, you're gonna have, kind of like what you said, your turmoil, you're gonna have your issues. And the issues started to build up. And it made me feel like I needed to start compromising on things that I normally don't compromise on. So when you get to this stage, right, this stage of informed pessimism, it's like you start second guessing yourself. And that's how I felt.
Nah, yeah, Amazon store was lit. And I was happy because I'm like, yo, my store got shut down. So at least he got it right. You're doing it right. So I'm rooting for you posting them sales every day. I'm like, all right, this is dope. So I felt your pain when it got shut down.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, bro, was so when I made the transition, I wrote out, and I have my goals behind me on my wall, right? And I wrote out all of my business goals for 2023, and I wrote out my six sources of income that I was projected to have. And bro, out of the six sources of income, everything just went south, bro. One of my sources was to make $40,000 in option trading, and in the first like 3 months, 3 or 4 months in 2023, I lost like $8,000. So it was like, hold on, I'm supposed to be making money,
You going
and
the wrong way.
yeah, I'm going the wrong direction. So that kind of put a roadblock into what I projected. And then for my Amazon, because again, I was making, 10 to actually between 20 to 30,000 a month. I did the math and I was like, all right, I'm only going to go up. So what I could finish the year with my Amazon drop shipping, I could do 600,000 just off of that based on the projected numbers. And then when it got shut down, I was like, I lost that stream. Like option trading humbled me very quickly. So I didn't want to do that no more. And then that's two streams that I projected to help me make $1 million in 2023. And I lost those two streams within the first 3 months of the year.
Yeah, that's one hell of a first quarter.
So it's like when entrepreneurs go through these phases, KB and I, we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to second guess yourself and to go like what we call this title, an emotional roller coaster, right? But we know that like we're here to see this ride, this journey through because we're entrepreneurs. We're built for this, right? So that takes us to stage three, bro, right? And stage three is where we lose 90% of our entrepreneurs, KB, right? And this stage is called the Valley of Despair. So, with the Valley of Despair, stage three, this is when most people give up. Now, the reason why they give up is because all of the pain of change, of going from what you were doing, and now you're in your new lane, your new industry, you feel all of the pain from change. And the benefits of why you change seem so far away. And to be honest, just less important, right? And this is when people go back to the way things used to be because the valley of despair is where we lose your confidence, you lose hope, and everything that you thought was going to happen just doesn't seem as important anymore. So let's talk about that, bro. So when you went through your valley of despair, right? And the reason why I wanted to wait until we got to this stage was because I remember you were saying you went through a period where you was like, yo, some days I had difficulty getting out of bed, bro. Like my motivation just was not there. So I don't know if you could talk about that.
Yeah, like, and it wasn't even a physical why I couldn't get out of bed. It was all emotions. Whereas like, yeah, I don't even feel like calling nobody. I feel like making no content. People that's tapping in are not ready. They're not prepared for funding. They got terrible credit scores and they have no plan. I was just getting all the wrong people and I didn't have an answer for them. So when it came down to really physically getting out of bed, I was like frustrated. And I was even mad at myself, which sounds crazy, but I'm like, yo, I don't even deserve this king bed. Like, and that's how I knew I was bugging because my last bed was a twin.
Yeah, you can't go back, bro.
So, but I felt like I wanted to be in that space because that would give me the hunger to get up. And it's like, it's like how Meek always want to stay in the hood, where it's like, yo, bro, you a multi-millionaire. Why are you around them? And it's like he want to get that hunger, that feeling. And I'm like, nah, bro, this is not the answer. Like, you are a king. That's why you have a king bed. This is what you've been through this already with training. And it's like, I didn't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
Like, the $6 session story is a story that I don't want to repeat.
He wasn't trying to relive that one. Yeah.
So it was hard. And it got to a point where it's like, yo, I'm below what I thought I was gonna be, but at the same time, I had to separate myself as a value as a man and understanding that this is a part of growth. This is part of the changes. It's inevitable. And I started realizing, like, yo, God, what do you want to show me in this moment? I don't want to just get through this. What do I need to learn so I can advance at another level? Because I could have gone back to training. I could have said, I'm training. I could have got clients, and I could have did that to stay afloat. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And some people do, like, if you gotta go back to work, you gotta do what you gotta do for your family. But I just know within myself, being I had credit, that helped me leverage a lot. I'm not gonna lie, like I had about 200K in credit, so it's like I could afford to take a couple months without making no income because I was able to do that. But if you don't have, that's why credit is good too. It can save you. So that was the way I was able to like really look forward. But like May was just terrible. Like I went on I was that's when it started to turn a little bit, and then it took another turn because the property I was trying to sell since January was supposed to sell, and we wasn't making the profit that we thought he was gonna make. We thought he was gonna sell it for 150, and we was gonna be, all in 50,000. What and didn't turn out that way. Yeah. So we dropping the property from 150, 125, 100. And when it came to that, like I know real estate comps, but we trusted the contract that we was working with because he lives in the area and has a house in the area, and so he had buyers and he could sell it over market price. But when he did the renovations, it wasn't up to the price that it was supposed to be. And he didn't do the floors, basically, the doors, things of that nature. So he painted it, but it wasn't a 150 house. So when it came down to it, was so hard to sell. And this is out of state. This is in North Carolina. So I just can't go and sell it myself. We got to get another realtor. I got another realtor company. They didn't do no open houses for a whole 45 days. It was sitting on the market. And That's when I first dropped the price, that's when we had all the views. So I'm looking at the data, like we got all the views and y'all not showing it. Y'all not doing open houses, or we don't do open houses. So what? Yeah, so it was really frustrating because 45 minutes of just sitting there and not being shown. So we just took it upon ourselves and just try to sell it without a realtor. So we get down to like maybe like 60, 70, 80,000. Negotiating, we end up selling for like 68. Meanwhile, we already 55, 56 in. So we're like, yo, whatever. Profit is profit. We're going to get ready to close, fly out there.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Get a cheap flight, everything cheap. And it was the first time I sat in the back in like 2 years. So at least I do comfort. If I do first, I'm at least doing comfort. So I'm in 27C, just like, oh my God. I'm really questioning my life. Like, how did I get here? Like, yo, I know I worked too hard. I created too much value of myself. How do I'm sitting back at the plane? Like, this is crazy. 27C, that's crazy. Yeah, bro. You was like, definitely in the valley of despair, bro. You don't even get snacks back there. They give you a head nod and some water. Yeah. They treat you like a peasant. They treat you like a peasant in the back of the plane, bro. So this is going there. We get there, get the hotel, not even hotel. We get a motel. We get an inn. So if you're an inn, you're staying close to the airport. It's very low budget. We're trying to save everything because whatever we spend is going to cut into the profit. So we get there. We have to drive an hour to closing because we tell them the car too. Tell them the car that you got. Don't leave out none of the details. I mean, if we're gonna be honest with the community, I feel like I don't even know. It was a Zuzu, or I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was the cheapest car. So I'm using my points and everything. I'm trying to save as much as possible. Don't even mention the car.
The Zuzu is crazy. But continue. Yo, Rodney was with you?
He made it worse too. So we drive in the closing and be like, all right, yo, at least we could get back. We can sell this and we go on to the next project because we still have another project in the work, 2 more projects in the works. And 30 minutes as we go on for an hour drive, we get the call from the buyer. And he said, man, I don't have the money.
Yeah, this can't get any worse, bro. Oh my God.
Valley of Despair, right?
Yeah. KB, he should have gave up, but that's the thing about hard-headed entrepreneurs is like when you know what you want, bro. I promise you that in moments like this is where people they throw in the towel. KB he drove a Zuzu. He drove a Zuzu in North Carolina to go get a property. Yo, like this is as raw as entrepreneurhood is gonna get. Continue, KB. Continue, bro.
To say that. Yo, the car is totally different. It probably go like 65 top, but whatever. He calls and said, and I'm surprised it had Apple CarPlay, but I think it did. And he said, yeah, I didn't find my buyer. I don't have the money. I'm like, yo, we came out from New York. Like we was already speaking beforehand. Like every time we spoke to him, he's like, yeah, I'm working. And it's like, how you working on? We supposed to close tomorrow. And it was just a faith trip. And literally, we went to the closing anyway. We went to the lawyer's office anyway. And we literally signed 2 papers. And it's just like, well, when we do get another buyer, you guys don't have to come back down here. And we could have walked away with our money just like that. And the fact that we walked away with empty pockets and then I spent money to go down there, that was probably the biggest loss I had in a long, long time. Like we literally came back empty-handed with less money and we still got to sell this house to somebody.
Yo.
And it was supposed to be a cash deal. So we was going to get wired same day, everything. And at that point, I had to really realize, yo, why are you doing this? Like, what do you really want this for? And on the way back, it was even worse on the plane because they didn't even give us water. This is Delta. This is the first time I've ever been on a plane. I didn't even get no water. There's like, oh, it's a short flight. We're not going to give out water. Like,
what? On Delta, they didn't give you water, bro? Nah, they knew you was in the Valley of Despair, bro. They was just really trying to see how much you could really endure because what?
So looking at, Rodney's my brother and my business partner on the way back, like, yo, I made a video too. Like, we're going to laugh at this one day because this is crazy. Like, we really came down here for no reason. We could have just stayed home. So at that point, I went to sleep when I got back home. I was like, yo, God, I can't do nothing else. If you take my car, you take anything else, it's whatever, but I can't do nothing else. And it was tough. It was really tough to really bounce back because everybody's like, yo, how did it go? I know y'all went out there, y'all got the closing. And it's like, nah. We just took a vacation in Raleigh, North Carolina.
In a Zuzu and left out empty. Yeah, bro. That sounds tough, bro. Like, so what made you not give up when you got back, bro? Because I feel like that's what everyone listening wants to know is like,
you can't, because if you do, you won't hear the end of the story. So it's like nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna hear about it. We won't be having this episode right now if I would have gave up. And I think that was my biggest thing. It's like, yo, it's not, I got a little bit more. I'll just get a little bit more. I'm gonna just keep pushing. And from there, it ended up turning out, we ended up able to sell the property by God's grace by another buyer, probably like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Wow.
And this time we were just like really secure about the contracts, secure about them having the money. Like, show us what you got in the account. We're not agreeing to nothing. So it made us more prepared for the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that people forget about. You want to learn as much as possible. And that's why we don't call them losses, we call them lessons. And that next opportunity we was ready. Even when we got another offers, we denied them. Like, yo, if you don't have the proof of funds, then we not going into the contract.
Yep.
So it just made us sharper, and we relied on each other. And if you got a partner, at that moment in time, it's not the time to blame each other. It's the time to really hold each other up, because we can't both be on a negative trend at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's either negative, positive, or we both positive going up. But if we both just like, yo, it's your fault, we should did this, we should that, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, bro. And I feel like just hearing that story of, you know, how bad it got of you being in the valley of despair, I really hope the entrepreneurs listening could relate this to their situation, because everybody goes through that stage 3 valley of despair. And when you're in the valley of despair, you can't give up, because KB said something really valuable, where nobody is going to care about your story if you give up, right? And that's what makes the journey so exciting and so, you know, fulfilling, is you want to complete the journey so you could share your lessons, your experiences, and your wins, so people could then use it as motivation to get through whatever they're going through, right? So I think
just to add to that too, because I was still working with funding, I had $40,000 in commission pending.
wow.
So it's like I got money that I worked for, but I didn't receive the invoice. I didn't get paid yet.
Yeah.
So like you could imagine different emotions of like, yo, why I'm not getting what I deserve. Like, so I had a client like just got ghosted. I had the other client, she was just conditionally approved. She was approved, but she didn't have the closing date yet. So it just kept getting extended, kept getting pushed out. So I'm just over it. I'm like, yo, I might go just make a post and say, yo, I'm taking some clients. I was this close, bro. This close.
Yeah. See, and that's really you, bro. That's really you, to stay 10 toes down when it ain't going how you want. So for me, my valley of despair, as I made the transition from going, you know, being a full-time, you know, sales CEO to now being a full-time business coach, was, or just, you know, business coach and just mastering the online space, is, so my Amazon store started, was doing really well. I think my best month I did about $35,000. The store got shut down, went through like a huge dispute phase, got it activated again, and it started doing good. And in my first week in July, I probably made about $10,000 again. And then a week later, it got shut down again. And bro, when I said I was just like heated, I was like, yo, why does this keep happening to me? Like I'm trying to do all of these things right. So again, every time, again, like what this episode says, the emotional roller coaster. So my store opened, I was excited, got shut down, appealed, got it reopened, made $10,000, and then it shut down. So it started to make me lose faith in just e-commerce, because I'm like, yo, is e-commerce even a real thing? Is anybody really making money on e-commerce for a long period? Then I got my wife in my ear saying, yeah, just stop that e-commerce stuff, man. Like, you make money for like 2 days and then you don't make money for 4 months. And I'm like, yo, so it was messing with my confidence. And then I still had money saved, so I was still doing good. But then over the next couple of months, my coaching clients, I started, like, I was closing like 1 or 2, maybe 3 clients a month. And then I started going through a few months where I didn't close any clients. Right. And I started realizing, kind of like what I said a couple episodes, I'm like, yo, what's going wrong? And it's like, I just don't have enough leads. And Amazon is not generating the revenue. I'm not getting new revenue coming in. So I'm just seeing my account just go down, 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 down. And it's starting to like mess with my confidence, you know? And when you're in the valley of despair, I feel like you start looking back on all of the decisions you made, and you just start saying, damn, I shouldn't have spent $2,000 on that. I shouldn't have bought this. I shouldn't have did that. And you just start really second guessing everything, you know, and you like, and you start being like your biggest critic, right? You start criticizing yourself to a point that it's just not helpful. But
Like failure.
yeah, you just and that's the worst thing, because then what you were doing before, you had all the experience and it was working. And my confidence just kept getting, like, every time I would boost my confidence up, it was like I was in a fight and I just kept losing, bro. So it made me feel incompetent and made me feel not as important, less of a man. And and me and my wife, we had a stage that we're trying to build our family, and I'm like, yo, if I don't have consistent flow of new customers or new business coming in, can I sustain what I envision? And it's like, maybe I just got to go back to, selling my planners, or start doing, like low level activity stuff,
Yeah.
and just going back to, again, what I know. And it was scary, because going through the valley of despair, when you're in that phase, you just feel like you're going to be there forever, but again, like what KB said, I just kept staying the course, right? And I was like, yo, if I stop right here, if I go back, if I decide I'm going to try to get a job, that goes against everything that I believe in, that I taught for the last, what I was taught and what I taught to my employees for the last 8, 9, 10 years, right? So I just couldn't go to that route, bro. And I was like, yo, Lay Kim, when I was in the valley of despair, I was like, yo, bro, work harder. When I was a new entrepreneur, I had no issue working hard, but same thing, I retired from being a sales CEO, and now I'm a fully self-employed, but it's not working. And it was a moment of just being at my all-time low, where I was just like, yo,
Do you
I
feel
need.
you was working hard but just not getting the results?
It was a combination, bro. I felt like I was working hard, but just not as hard as I know I'm capable of. Because again, it's like, once you hit a certain level of success, I feel like it comes with a level of entitlement, right? And I just felt entitled to certain things, and I felt like people should, come to me and be like, yo, Lay Kim, here's my business. I need you. I need you. I need you. And I lost a little hunger. I lost a little of that, like going out and getting it and proving myself, because I felt like I put in enough work that I should not have to prove myself anymore.
Mm.
Right. That was my big thing of what made me make so much money in the beginning stages of me starting my sales company, was I had that chip on my shoulder that I needed to prove myself to people that, one, I could do it, and two, I'm here to stay. And as I transitioned into online coaching, I didn't have that same chip on my shoulder, because I was like, I already proved myself. But what I forgot to connect the dots was I proved myself in a different industry, right?
Mhm.
So just because I'm lit in this industry doesn't mean I'm going to be lit here, or that's, the way to look at it. But when you're in the moment, you're like, nah, I'm lit in any industry I go to, but your audience in the market will tell you how lit you are.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
So,
Damn. Yeah, I think that's the important part of this, value of spirit. Because for me, I felt like I was working so hard, but I wasn't working smart. Like
mhm.
I'm, I named my company Infinite Wealth Strategies, and I felt like I felt like I was at a disadvantage. And that brings us to the next step. You go over to step 4.
Yeah. So
You started.
step four is informed optimism, right? And what's informed optimism, what this stage really means is you're back in a positive emotional cycle, right? So you just made it out of that negative, everything isn't going the way you want. And now the benefits of your actions are starting to show results, right? Because your new thoughts and actions are starting to become your new routine, right? So things that felt uncomfortable are now starting to become everyday stuff.
And for me, that was consistent with my content, funding content, and also putting it out there more and really strategizing. I think when I really think started to take a turn, when my wall in my house had a leak, and then once it got fixed, I had to force to stay in the guest room. And it sounds crazy saying the guest room right now, but I do have a guest room. So the way my house, I have the KB lounge, and upstairs is an extra room. And I'm like, all right, this is a queen. I'm locked in here. Let me make the most of what I'm in. So I was reading 50 Cent book, Work Harder, Work Smarter. And I just really started getting like, what's my obstacles? What is my issues? What do I feel my disadvantages? And as I'm writing down, it's like 5. I don't have somebody for credit repair. I don't have my back end office set up. There was a lot of going on with my systems and the person that was creating it. And I felt like I didn't have, the clients that I wanted. The next page, I wrote down all my advantages. And my advantages outweighed physically on the paper, full page of advantages compared to the 3 or 4 obstacles I was facing. I'm like, yo, if I can answer these by knowing my advantage, now I'm aware of who I am. And as I was getting to that aspect, I started getting on a call, started getting a hunt for people to do credit repairs. Like, yo, I don't do it, but let me find the best people that do it. And let me find the sharks in that space because we could work together and I could service my client even better. So now if I get people on a call, KB, I want to work with you, but I don't have this. All right, we could cover that. Yeah. And that is the most pivotal part of you taking accountability of what you're not doing and then doing something about it. And that's part of people like, yo, I don't have this. I don't want to do that. No, you got to reach out. You got to go network. You got to go to different spaces. You got to meet new people. And you got to really sit there and think in your thoughts and write them down. And I think for me, that was the biggest pivotal. Even I didn't make no significant amount of money yet, but I'm like, yo, I'm moving.
Yeah.
Moving. And that's when it really hit me. It's like, yo, no more slow seasons.
And you move with clarity too.
Yeah. And I'm moving with intention, clarity, and I know one move is going to set up the next 5.
Yep.
And that's how I really was able to tap in and really make things a shift. And this moment where you just feel like, I went through all this for a reason.
I could breathe a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And it's a sign of relief of growth because I wasn't the same person I was in January, the same person in the August. And, that's when I really started to really locking up all the thoughts and ideas, start putting it out there and just thinking more sharply. And that was the part for me. I'm like, and I was locked in that room for a week, like just watching Suits on Netflix, learning different tactics, writing down, reading. And I needed that because that was the part that I wanted. I couldn't get back to my little twin bed, and my other room was like big as my arm length.
Yeah.
This was good enough. Like, it was a good guest room. It was good enough. I was locked in. And I was like, once my wall gets fixed, because my wall is supposed to be like $10,000, but it ended up fixing it is only $1,000. So I'm like, all right, that's a blessing. And it, yeah. So it ended up being a sign of relief and just a form of gratitude again. And I think that's what I learned in this 4th stage of gratitude, of being thankful that shit is not the way it used to be before.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm gonna eat tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat. I might have to pay my car note or mortgage a little bit later than a usual day, not actual late payment, but I gotta give some time. I gotta work on a grace period. And at that point, you really start to realize, I gotta get smarter. Let me look at my bank statements. Let me go through these and let me try to delete some things that I'm not using, or let me cut back somewhere. That's the hardest part. Once you're used to a certain lifestyle, you're used to first class all the time, you're used to this, and it's like, all right, I'll take Comfort Plus. I ain't doing 27C. I'm there. I will not do that again.
Yeah, that was the all-time low, bro. That was crazy.
I'll take Comfort Plus. It's cool.
Yeah, and for me, bro, and like I think that's such an important part. So when I made it to stage 4, informed optimism, that's when I started realizing like Kim, you have to keep getting better as a coach. You have to keep improving your offer and adding more value. So what I started doing, bro, is started reading more books. I started reading, you know, a lot of Russell Brunson's material. I started reading Alex Hormozy's material, and it put me in a whole different state, bro. It put me in a mindset. It put me in like, yo, the online space is something that you could dominate. It's something that you could do really well in if you educate yourself and figure out the problem that you want to solve and provide the best solution. And as I just kept tweaking my offer, KB, it made me feel more like accomplished. It made me feel like, yo, I'm really solving a problem, because the first couple of offers that I was doing, I knew what the outcome was, but it wasn't a clear outcome. It wasn't a measurable outcome, right? And that's what I think brought me to stage 3, right? I just felt like I didn't have the clarity that I needed. But as I kept reading and as I kept breaking it down into pieces that made it simple for me to digest, then I was like, yo, I could do this. You know, and I'm gonna find a way to get more leads coming in and flowing. And that's what made stage 4 for me so enjoyable, because stage 4 is where you really find clarity. And for every entrepreneur that's watching this, if you are currently in stage 4, continue to search for the clarity. Keep adding to what you're doing to make your purpose more meaningful and more fulfilling. I feel fulfilled. I feel like I have more purpose, and I feel like I know where I'm heading again. Because when you go in the valley of despair, bro, everything seems fuzzy, everything is blurry, and you don't even know where you're going. But when you get to stage 4, now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Fact. I was just about to say that. And also too, with what separates you is the greats is the detail.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about Kobe, like super detailed, footwork, everything. He's paying attention to every little detail, square up to the basket, everything. You think of LeBron, his memory is crazy.
Yep.
When it comes to detail. When I see something about Steph, the reason why he never gets tired, he trains his diaphragm. Like extremely detailed of how to breathe. That's how he's able to run around the court all the time. So, you know, 50 Cent, detail, super detailed, very strategic. Jay-Z the same way. So it's like that's what separates the greats is breaking down the details. So I think in step 4 for me, the little things, even down to the wording in my marketing,
Yep.
changes, you know, everything, the solution for me. So now you feel even more accomplished of I went through this and this to get here. Like you said, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and we're at the 53-minute mark. So we could wrap up stage 5, and then we could, you know, share our conclusion thoughts. So stage 5 is success and fulfillment, right? And what this stage really means is the benefits of change are fully experienced. The cost of change is virtually gone, right? All of those fears and the investments and stuff that you did to make this change, all of that is gone. And the actions in the beginning that were difficult and uncomfortable have now become your routine, right? So remember, stage 4, it was starting to become your routine, but stage 5, it's 100% a part of who you are, and it's a part of your new identity. So to be fully transparent, I don't feel like I'm at stage 5 yet with my business coaching, right? I still feel like I'm still in stage 4, and I'm making the adjustments and building up the revenue to get to stage 5. So for my experience is I'm continuing to work on myself in stage 4 so I could get the momentum that's going to take me to stage 5. So what about you? Do you feel like you're in stage 4, or you feel like you're knocking on stage 5 at the door right now?
I feel like I'm sitting in a seat in stage 5, but I didn't take off yet. Like, you know, when it comes down for getting people, you know, situated for funding, I have credit repair team now that, you know, that's in the process of getting people, you know, things removed fast, quickly. Real estate, I just switched my brokerage literally today. So I'm about to build up my team for all NYC realtors. So it's like I'm literally in the seat, like strapped in, ready to go.
Yep.
I have great clients that's in the process of getting funding. Everybody wants, like, it's not even just about what they want, but they're valuable clients where we build that relationship and it's fun to work with them. Like, I have my Raven fans that I'm working with. So yeah, I feel like I'm literally just ready to go. Like, yo, let's take off, and putting on my backpack, and like, we out of here. And
Yeah.
I wake up with expectation. I wake up with excitement, and it's even excited to even do this episode to capture our journey in real time.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to understand this is real time what's going on with our lives. Like, literally, this year has been crazy, emotional roller coaster.
Heavy, bro. And I feel like that's the beauty in entrepreneurhood. And we're really hoping that everyone that's listening can, see the transparency that we have and feel comfortable to share some of your vulnerable and transparent moments with us as well. So KB, for your final thoughts on emotional roller coaster. So an entrepreneur that's going through this cycle, these 5 stages that we just went through, what would you say to them if they feel stuck at a stage, or just what's your overall takeaway on the emotional roller coaster of change?
I would say the first thing, identify where you at. So go over those 5, bullet points that we shared. Because once you identify where you at, it's like, when you're being lost, that's like the worst feeling ever, especially as a kid, where it's like, you don't know where your parents are. You just want to find them because you're scared. But if you identify, all right, this is where I'm at. I'm at the front of the store. I'm by the men's section, the boys section. Then you could describe to a person where you're trying to get to. So, being a lost entrepreneur, especially when you have so many doubts, so many fears, society, the economy, the rates, everybody's supposed to be in turmoil. It's supposed to be a slow seasonal recession. We don't have to abide it, because somebody's making money. Money is always going to keep going, and you need to be that person. And it's bigger than just money, but it's all more about progress. So I would say, understand that there is emotional roller coaster. It's not a straight way up. There's going to be ups and downs. You've seen a lot of different graphs and charts on social media, but it's true. But you need to identify exactly where you at, and that will give you the relief and the calmness of, all right, this is where I'm supposed to be at. These things are supposed to occur, but I know what's next. And I think that was the biggest thing for me to understand, like, it's something new, bro. Like, yeah, you could be confident, but it don't mean it's going to pan out the way you want it to pan out all the time.
Yep.
And, it's okay that you have to do certain things. Even taking back my second car, taking back the drop. Like, that was a business decision, because we use it for rentals, but we start renting. We just, making money. So, like, yo, it's good to have 2 cars. It's good luxury. But it's like, nah, I'm going to take it back. I still got a nice primary car. Only 2 in the country. But, I'm really going to need it in the wintertime in New York? Not really. It was a lease anyway. So I plan to take it back next summer. It's like, I'll take it back this fall, and I'll get something new next summer.
Yeah.
I could take that money, put it towards, it got me another, term policy. So it's like, understand, don't care about what other people might think, what it look like. You understand your path and your vision, because when it's time to go up, you're gonna know why. You're gonna appreciate, like, this run, I'm gonna appreciate way more than I ever did before.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really excited about. I want you guys to be excited about that as well.
Facts. And I think for myself, what I want to share with entrepreneurs, my final takeaway is the only way you lose is if you stop trying or if you give up, right? You just have to push yourself, motivate yourself, encourage yourself, be in the right environments of people that are going to help you get to the next stage, right? And be transparent with yourself at what stage you're at. If you're in stage 3, if you're in that valley of despair, own it, right? Like, just understand that that's where you currently are, right? But remember, if you make it out of, or not if, when you make it out of the valley of despair, the next stage is going to be the informed optimism, right? Because now you're able to really see where you're at, and you're going to see your growth. You're going to appreciate the struggles, because when you make it to stage 5, which is success and fulfillment, then you're going to say, yo, it wasn't that difficult. And I say this every time, when you're in the moment of something, it always seems like it's difficult. When I was in high school, I felt like high school was difficult. Then when I finished high school, I'm like, yo, high school was a breeze. When I was in college, I was like, yo, college was difficult. Then when I finished college, I'm like, I was a breeze. When I started my first company, I was like, yo, starting a company was difficult. When I retired, I'm like, yo, that wasn't as difficult as I thought because I completed it. I followed through. So for everyone that's watching this, the only way you lose is if you don't follow through and if you give up. But if you're willing to stay on this emotional roller coaster and understand that this change is inevitable, you can't avoid this. This change is going to apply if you're a parent, if you're you starting a new job, you're starting a new company, you're switching positions, it doesn't matter. You're going to go through these cycles. So own it, right? Value it, appreciate it, and realize that this is a part of who you are and it's your story. So let's make it great, right? So the last thing I want to share with everyone, again, if you made it this far in the episode, do KB and I a favor. Leave us a 5-star review, right? And share this with someone who needs to hear this. That's how we grow. Right now, KB and I, we're not doing no paid ads. So we're just doing all organic word of mouth. So do us a favor and share this podcast episode with someone that you think needs to hear this or that could gain some value from it. That's how we're growing entrepreneurhood. So we appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to y'all next week.